What if? I search the flooding road for any sign Nicholas is still with me. Have you seen my friend? I ask. Gail smiles. I'm your friend? No, I say, squinting at her. You were never my friend. I tried to be. I shiver. Can we get out of the rain? We can't go in the house. My family's in there. She gazes desolately at the old truck, surprised by what she sees. And I don't have that key. I take a few steps toward her, splashing in water up to my ankles. She closes the space between us and pulls me toward her. God, she says, it's been too long. I break away from her embrace. I can't stay. Come on, Mud. Give me the key. She shakes her head, her wet hair slick against her face. I don't know if I'm ready to give it up just yet. I have to admit, having it makes me feel quite special. You are special, I say. I thought I was over you, but all it took was one little text. Gail's face crinkles in confusion. Then why can't you stay? I clung to my heartbreak because it was the scar that proved the experience. It's time I let go. Could you find it in your heart to give me a second chance? Her eyes flicker with a familiar fire. She reaches for me, rubbing the back of her hand along my cheek, the way she had at the record store so many years before. This time, there's no electricity. I don't melt at her touch. I move her hand into mine. With my thumb, I spin the wedding band on my finger. I've built a life and a family. It's not perfect, but it isn't fair to compare over a decade of complicated experiences to a handful of moments with you. It's taken me all this time to realize how carefully Amaya holds my heart in her hands, and it only took you a couple of months to break it. Gail begins to weep. What those tears would have meant to me way back when. She smiles through her grief and even manages a laugh. We had fun, though, right? I never meant to hurt you. She squeezes my hand. I really did love you. I've spent 20 years idealizing you. I think that's long enough. I let her slip away and realize she's left something in my hand. I don't need a key anyway, she says. Not when I have interpretive dance to get me out of any jam. I feel a warmth, even as the rain falls on me. Is that what you're doing for the talent show? Oh no, she says, shaking her head. I only dance for the ones I love. Posing like a ballerina, spinning and pirouetting, she disappears into the darkness, and I can still hear her singing moments after she's gone. There you are! Nicholas rushes toward me, marching through the rising water. I conceal my relief as he wades over. I got it, I say, holding up the key for him to see. The storm surges, spinning around us like a hurricane. We're out of time, says Nicholas, reaching out to me. We have to hurry. Someone steps out from the fog. I don't know if I'll ever get used to seeing myself as a disembodied third-party witness, but what's even more jarring this time is that this isn't a version of me I recognize. This Paul Squall is the same age as me, but he's definitely not who I am today. He stands more upright than I do. He's toned and muscular, has a full head of hair pushed back by a pair of expensive sunglasses. He wears a bright polo, khakis, and limited edition footwear. He looks like the cool dad who takes the winningest Little League team out for pizza after the championship game. He snatches at the key, his black tungsten wedding band shining and his white teeth dazzling. All right, guy, he says in a voice that oozes upper crust elitism. Hand it over. Nicholas says, No, Paul, don't give it to him. A girl like Gail only comes around once in a lifetime, sport. My more handsome clone says. He takes a few easy steps toward me and then strikes me in the face. His fist hits me like a concrete block, and I fall backward, dropping the key into the ascending water. It disappears, and we all dive for it, splashing blindly. I feel something against my fingertips, but as I move to grab it, whatever it was flutters out of reach. My more handsome clone says, "That key belongs to me, Chief. You don't deserve it, and you know it." He clutches me by the back of the head and holds my face underwater. I gasp and sputter, pushing back against his hands and struggling for breath. "Nicholas!" I cry when my face breaks the surface. "Help!" The water churns in my nose, mouth, and ears, burbling and robbing me of breath, sight, and sound. When I finally resurface, I can hear Nicholas frantically yell over the storm, "I can't touch him!" I try to reply, but my response erupts only as angry bubbles. As I fail to pull myself away, the edges of my vision begin to darken. I wrench my wrist between his forearms, creating enough pressure to wedge his hands apart and give myself some room to move. I crane my neck to the side and leap away until I'm just out of his reach. I crawl backward, my shoulder erupting with stabbing pains. I feel the strength leave my arm. "Who are you?" I ask between ragged coughs. Nicholas loops his arms under my armpits and tries to help me to my feet. "He's a what-if, a counterfactual." My more handsome clone is upon me again, punching me this time in the gut. I pull away from Nicholas's well-meaning but backfiring hold, ducking and dodging more intended blows. A what? "A what-if. He's a figment of your imagination." A figment? He hits pretty hard for a fucking figment, Nicholas. "He's who you think you would have become had your life taken a different course." Nicholas crouches down in search of the key. "This is how you see yourself if you'd ended up with Gale." The what-if kicks me, and I flop in the water beside Nicholas. "Well, he's strong," I say. Nicholas nods. "You've given him a lot of power." I roll out of the way to avoid having my face stomped in. I grab his leg and tug, bringing him crashing down. Moving as swiftly as I can, I climb on top of him and rain blows down on his stupid, handsome face. His hands dig into my cheeks. Through clenched teeth, he says, "It's you or me, champ. You or me." His fingers push into my eyes. "I kill you for the sake of my family, for Gale and the kids, for Hunter and Siri and little Gaylord." Gaylord? I jab my knee into his groin and press my elbow into his throat. If I let him have the key, is that how I change my past? "No, you do that and you die." Nicholas grows desperate, sloshing about for the key. "He's false, just a complicated lie you've constructed to fool yourself into feeling like a failure." He stoops so low his beard dips beneath the surface of the water. "Find the key," I say, pressing down with all my weight. One more thing," Nicholas says. "You can't kill him with physical violence." The what-if starts sitting up, and no matter how hard I try to push him back, he's quickly gaining momentum. "Now you tell me?" Nicholas jerks up, saying, "Okay, get ready." He pushes the recovered key into the air in front of him and puts his shoulder into opening the portal. "Now!" I roll off the what-if and duck through the gateway. When the door is finally shut behind us, Nicholas blows a puff of air through his lips. "Now, aren't you glad you didn't turn into that asshole?" A passing elf hears, reprimanding Santa Claus for his foul choice of words.